Current hash map work?
Yeah, concurrent hash map work on the cloning of the object. So
Mm-hmm.
the put and remove method having the lock and get method don't have the lock. So when you are using the concurrency in the project, then you can use the concurrent hash map, and it is not throwing the concurrent modification exceptions.
Okay. So any idea how class loader works? What the use of these class loaders?
Are you talking about JVM class loader, right?
Right.
Okay, so there are the in the JVM there are three types of class loader in the JVM: bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, and third one system class loader, I guess. So these class loader is used to load the classes that we are using in our Java. So there is extension means dot class files or dot JRE files. It will load in the JVM,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically load
Okay.
the class. Actually, I don't remember exactly, but yes, it will load the all the classes in the JVM.
Okay. Fine. Fine. That sense you.
Okay.
So what is this immutable objects
Yeah,
or immutable classes? Yeah.
immutable classes is a final. So
Mm-hmm.
when the like if you want to create any immutable class, you can create it, or you can also there's predefined classes are there, wrapper classes or string classes Java has provided, so you can use that classes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So any idea about the design patterns?
Yes, I have. So
Or
yes.
so like which one you know about it? Bridge, adapter, singleton, not singleton, abstract and factory pattern, anything?
Yeah, factory pattern I used in my project. So
Okay. So how you use it and why you have used it?
it is basically used for the creation of the objects. So
Mm-hmm.
when in our project, like there are different vendors, and we don't want to create the object immediately. So when
Mm-hmm.
we are passing the vendor reference, in that scenario, only that object need to be created. So in that scenario, we are using that factory pattern. So we are using the interface and write the classes and implement that interface in our classes, and using the switch cases and return that instance.
Okay. Mm. So like let me one more thing that okay. Any idea about how this exception handling work for try with resources? How this try with resources works?
Yes, I have the idea, but I haven't used it in my project. But when you are using the like previously, what we need to do, we have to
Mm-hmm.
open the file, and you need to close the file also. So in the Java 7 has provided the try with resources feature. So when you are using the try and you have mentioned the files, you don't need to close. Java will take care of that. Like Java will automatically close that file.
Okay. Okay. So let's come to the Spring and
Mm-hmm.
Hibernate. So what when you say some in Spring this called prototype beans? What is the use of this prototype bean?
Yeah, prototype beans mean like when your context is calling on the bean and you want to
Hmm.
create the multiple object then in that scenario you are using the prototype beam.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get the last line.
Yeah, so in your scenario, so you are creating your requirement, like you have to create the multiple object, like Spring provide the singleton object by default. So in
Hmm.
the scenario where you are using to use the bean like prototype, so when the context is calling the get bean method, so every time it will create the new object.
Okay. Yep. Okay. You have exposure to the Spring Boot also.
Yes,
So
yes.
how this auto configuration works? How these conditions are there? What is the use of this at the rate condition annotations and at the rate auto configuration things work?
Yeah, so Spring Boot provide the features like if you are using the Spring Boot in the main
Mm-hmm.
class, you have to mention that at the Spring Boot application, and also if you are not mentioning, then you have to mention the at that configuration, at that component can, and at the enable auto configuration. So this annotation you have to use, and when your application start, then the component scan annotation search the beams, and uh, it will get injected in your beam will get injected. So for that the Spring Boot starter
Mm-hmm.
dependencies are there, so you have to add that dependency in your pom.xml file.
Okay. So in Spring,
Okay.
okay. So Spring and Hibernate. I believe you have integrated those one also, right? Spring
Yes,
and Hibernate.
yes, yes, I have.
So what? How we can do that? What is the basic requirement? What
Yeah.
things we need to configure first?
Hmm. So if you want to integrate the Hibernate, first you have to add
Mm-hmm.
the dependency in the pom.xml file, and second thing, you have the Hibernate properties. So like there are a few mandatory properties of Hibernate. So in the basic data source, you have to mention all those properties, like the
Mm-hmm.
URL, username, password, dialect, and whatever database you are using, that driver also you needed. And after that you have to provide that data source to the local session factory bin, and also you need to provide that bin reference to the Hibernate template. Hello.
I think we
Yes,
disconnected.
yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. So what I'm saying, you have to provide the reference to the Hibernate template,
Mm-hmm.
and you can integrate your
Okay.
application. So yeah.
Okay. In your current project, how you this security works? How the security layer there? Because you are saying that this REST APIs are there,
Mhm.
and how your in project this REST APIs are secure. What mechanism they are using? Any idea?
Yeah. So we are using the two mechanism. First is the two-way SSL. So we are using the third-party API. So when you have to add the certificate, client certificate and server certificate to the server. So in the JDK key store, you have to add that certificates, and you have to validate the client, validate the call, validate the request when you are hitting the client API. Then server also validate that request, and client also validate. So yeah, you have to include the certificate, PEM certificates are there. So this is the two
So
SSL,
this
and
application is a desktop application, right?
no, this is the web based application.
So you just adding this SSL certificates, then it would be HTTPS, right? Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I got your point. Yeah, yeah, this is the so in the JDK key store, what we need to do, we have to add
Uh-huh.
the server certificate. So in the uh, like there are the so our vendor is the one trust, so we are consuming some APIs of vendor. So we have added the one trust certificate in our application, in our Linux server, JDK key store. So that is not dependent on our application. Our application is different, and we also enable the
Like in
admin.
your application, you might user has to put some username and password, right?
Okay, so that security we will maintain. In that
Mhm.
scenario, we are using the SSO for the user authentications, and also we are using the OAuth authentication.
So any idea how this auth authentication work? Which version of auth? 1.0 or 2.0?
2.1.
Okay. So any idea how this authentication works?
So
Auth
yeah,
authentication works?
so from our side, what we have provided the we have means we have passed the in the application client
Mhm.
ID, secret ID, and OAuth resource URL. So we are passing from, and it generates the access token. So after 15 minutes, it will get validated.
Okay. It will be access token and refresh token,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. In particular, which server that you are using? Auth server, any single sign-on implementation, or any other server, or like you just need to run your own auth servers and resource server, then we are authenticated.
Yeah, we are having the own OAuth resource server.
Okay. 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 Can you do you have any idea about how you're deploying your products?
Yeah, so in our project we are using the Git, and we are building the jars, and that jars are migrated into Jenkins. Jenkins will deploy into the AWS.
Jenkins deployed to the Okay. Okay.
So
Any
yeah, there is the schedulers kind of things in the Jenkins.
Mhm.
So DevOps teams will take care of that. But we are only means if there is an instance fails, then we are checking into the AWS EC2 instance.
Okay. Okay, like in throughout career, have you fixed any memory leak issues, or you have exposure to the debugging of any memory issue, or any interesting bug that you have fixed?
Yes, in my starter career, I worked
Uh-huh.
on the PCMC project. There is the water tax, so I individually manage that project, and I am facing the out of memory issue. So I have added the parameters in the console. So I have increased the heap size, and it get worked that time. And
But
also, yeah.
any idea about why that? Have you investigate why that memory leak happens? Why it asking for more memory? Any other interesting bug?
Bug.
Bug or like any new feature that you have developed and say this was an interesting thing and I have developed independently.
Yeah, so these applications I have two SSL I have independently means configured, and also the APIs I have written it. So I have written that APIs.
Uh-huh. Okay. So I'll ask the last one.
Okay.
Okay. This will be more about discussion how we going to develop a system. Okay.
Okay.
I'm expecting a solution from your side. Okay. So suppose we are running a call center.
Okay.
Okay. We have already we need to capture these calls, all calls, along with audio.
Okay.
Okay, and the system that give us our calls, like some system is already there in place that handles all these calls,
Mm-hmm.
and then after the end of the call, it we just need to push those calls to our API so that we can persist those calls and their data. Okay, along with audio. Audio is, and then we need to also encrypt this audio in or encryption of this audio file and save it to the file system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is that the problem set is that when we design this side of system, we need to this call metadata, like what call ID is, how long it will be, on which phone it dial, all comes in XML format. We need to convert to the particular format and save it to the database. And the second one is audio file need to be encrypted and save in file system, and then we give a link to that call ID in tables also, so that anytime in future we can retrieve that that audio, required audio or associated audio. Okay, so that's the second two requirements, and the third one is that I need to be these systems to be scalable, like he can handle or save 200 calls per second. So how we can design that kind of system?
First thing you have to write one APIs, you
Mm-hmm.
have to go with the REST APIs because XMLs are bulky and they are taking more time to execute. So you can go with the REST APIs, and from like you are saying that you have the XML and you have to convert into the other format. So for that you have to use the third party APIs, or you can use the JAXB annotations for that, and you can convert your XML to the JSON, or any you can use the my I prefer to use the JSON because it will uh, handle the more data smoothly. So, and second thing, uh, encryption, so that you can use the uh, algorithm for that, for the when you are passing the data, then you can decrypt that data using the key. uh, there are the algorithms are there, I forgot the name. 250.
No, no, like that's fine. We just need to encrypt. So you can say we just pass
Yes,
the encrypt,
yeah,
which
yes,
encryption you want, and it will convert the data into encryption format, and they get saved to the database.
yes,
So sorry, file system,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
And that data that is coming in XML format, it gets saved in the database side.
Yeah,
All right.
correct. Yes.
Okay. How are we going to scale that system to handle this 200 calls per second, so that we can capture 200 calls per second? Because it might be that we getting a lot of calls in one end, and they are trying to push that data to our APIs, and these our APIs, what they are doing, they are just processing, encrypting. So it takes like a classical problem of producer and consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Producers produce lot of data and consumer is very slow, and the consumer,
Mm-hmm.
we are the consumer. So how we can handle that kind of solution problem, sorry.
So in that scenario, you have to first use the Eureka, follow the microservice architecture. You can
Mm-hmm.
register your service to the Eureka server, and also you can use the internally use the Spring Cloud, and you can deploy all your instance to the AWS or any cloud, so you can easily scale your application.
So what characteristics that Eureka provides?
So Eureka, Eureka when so Spring Cloud provides the load balancers. So when the request comes in our application, then you can use the at the rate load balanced annotation, or you can use the Joule APIs to manage the such a things. And also you can Eureka is for the availability when you are suppose uh, when you are register your application in the Eureka. So Eureka client for 50, I guess, from 50 second or 30 second, he sent the heartbeat to the Eureka servers, and if the client will not found on the, then Eureka servers deregisters that clients. So it for the availability purpose you can use the Eureka.
Okay.
And scalability,
Okay.
you can Spring Cloud provides the Joule or load balance.
Right, right. Okay. So Amol, that's all from my side.
Okay.
Do you have any question?
Is it project specific requirement, or are you looking means the project is in pipeline, or you're
No, no,
hiring
it's a
for?
project-based requirement. Its
Okay,
project
okay,
is already finalized.
okay, okay, fine.
Okay, so I'll give you the more brief about the company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have 10 plus